This story is crazy. This influencer couple called Matt and Abby have caused mass outrage on social media when they publicly posted leaving their kids aged 1 and 2 unattended in their rooms whilst they ate dinner on a cruise ship. Yeah, pretty crazy. But they have just turned around and said that it's all lies. This is one of the most crazy and confusing things that I have ever heard. But before I talk about that, let me give you some backstory. This isn't Matt and Abby's first time in controversy. Oh no. So Matt and Abby have a podcast together called The Unplanned Podcast, where they talk about raising their kids and their relationship difficulties. Because a podcast where you air out all of your arguments is a great idea. The first time I was ever made aware of them was when they went crazy viral about a year ago. Basically, Abby had just given birth to their child, which led Matt to have this breakdown because he realized that he would have to put his career goals to the side. But Marina, that seems like a normal feeling to have after you have a child. And yeah, it totally is. Except the way that he chose to deal with those feelings was to give Abby the silent treatment for 2 days after she gave birth.
These like big goals and big dreams and have to put them to the wayside. I was kind of mad. I just kind of shut down and didn't say anything. By me not saying anything, I think that brought you down.
Well, you were bringing me down because you weren't talking to me.
That just lasted for like a day.
It lasted like 2 days.
You think it lasted 2 days? Maybe it did last for the second day.
Yeah, probably not the best time to reflect on your career choices. Mind you, she had a C-section delivery, so that already is a major surgery that she has to recover from, and on top of that, they already have a 1-year-old that they have to look after. Crazy stuff. Another big controversy was when Matt shared how upset he was that his pregnant wife had decided to combine Father's Day and his birthday into one party.
Last year was June 18th, which is Matt's birthday, so
Yes.
he had Father's Day and his birthday on the same day.
You did combine the two of them. It's okay though. I mean, you were pregnant, but like Father's Day and my birthday were the same exact day.
Yeah,
and it kind of was a bummer.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I failed you. I'm
Hey,
so
but
sorry.
you know what? This year, we're boycotting Father's Day for the month of June and celebrating it 3 months after my birthday.
Insane, right? He's literally just a toddler in an adult's body. So is Matt just a really bad guy, or is there more to this story? So how does Abby tie into this whole cruise drama if she seems like the innocent one in this relationship? Well, their dynamic is interesting to say the least. I mean, I don't know many couples who say this type of thing to each other.
I just find you very attractive.
Yeah, I find you very attractive too.
And there was a time where I did not.
Same.
Isn't that so funny how our brain can do that, though?
Yes.
It's so crazy. And that's also why you shouldn't marry someone for looks.
Bingo.
Also, your brain can literally paint someone to look so differently
100%.
via their personality.
Yeah, babe, I think you're really attractive, but sometimes you can be so fucking ugly. Like, literally, I had to stop myself from gagging when I saw you. Ouch. If you've been with your partner for a long time, there's absolutely going to be points where you're upset and fed up with them. But are there genuinely people that find their partner ugly at times? And not even that, but also to say it to their face? Really strange vibes. And that takes us to the current Matt and Abby controversy that has been taking social media by storm. So please, strap yourselves in for this one. Now, this isn't just some leaked story, this actually all came from Abby's personal Instagram stories. So Matt and Abby decide to take a 7-day cruise with their 2 children and some extended family members. Since the beginning of this cruise, Abby has been updating her stories and complaining about how hard it is to take care of their kids whilst on vacation, especially at dinner time when they want to eat at the restaurant. Their kids are 1 and 2-year-old boys, so I can definitely understand how that would be very difficult. She shared in an update, I feel better, that's for sure, less fight or flight, but still kind of panicky from time to time. I'll be honest, it's not giving vacation. So she mentions how the kids are going to be checked into the kids club on the cruise so the adults can get some alone time, which is amazing because that's what kids clubs are for. So the next day, they plop their kids into the kids club whilst they head out for dinner. But that didn't last very long because 5 minutes into dinner, they had to go and pick up their 1-year-old because apparently he was too sad. So that plan obviously didn't work. work. It also seems that they were just completely unprepared when it came to actually entertaining the kids. They complained that they had to keep taking them for walks in the middle of meals that they had together. And I'm not a parent, but I do know that no child is just gonna sit there and stare at the wall for 3 hours straight. At least bring like a coloring book or something. It doesn't have to be like iPads if that's what they're avoiding. As for places on board for toddlers, I have to say I was disappointed. I wish they had just a small soft play area or a playground or even just a safe room for them to run around in, because my boys are active and there wasn't a safe space for them to really move at all. Having 2 kids under 2 and doing anything other than a Disney cruise is kind of crazy to me. They should have done more research on the cruise lines so that they could make those judgments if they needed to bring extra activities. They just seem to be blaming everyone else but themselves for it. First the kids and now the cruise line. This is all pretty tame so far, so where did it actually go wrong? So after doing some background research, I found out that their 2-year-old sleeps in this thing called a slumber pod in his own bedroom, which is a red flag for so many different reasons. A big one being how dark they actually are. This kid is gonna get used to sleeping in complete sensory deprivation, and it's gonna be a huge ordeal when he outgrows it and has to sleep with a little bit of light. It can also get extremely stuffy in there, and I've seen other family vloggers have like a fan in it, so they bring these pods with them on the cruise to use for both of their children. Abby posted a bunch of stories of their room tour, which stated that both kids were sleeping in separate rooms because the tents couldn't fit in one room, and they also didn't want them waking each other up. After a few nights of unenjoyable dinners, they felt like they couldn't do it anymore and they wanted to find alternatives. Our game plan was to play all day with the kids and then let them hang out in the kids club whilst the adults went to the formal dining, as long nice dinners is not a setting designed for them. Well, you need to book ahead if your child is under 3, and pretty much all of the dinner slots were already booked before I could get to the nursery. So the nursery plan didn't work, but they were determined to have a child-free meal. So they decided to move their dinner time to after their kids' bedtime so that they could leave their kids sleeping in separate rooms and FaceTime the baby monitors whilst they ate. She said that the baby monitors don't work on board unless you're 10 feet away from them. Keep in mind, these kids are 1 and 2 years old. And also, they had multiple family members on board, including grandparents and her brother. Not one of them could have watched the kids. If you wanted a child-free vacation, I don't know why you even took them in the first place. As you could imagine, this caused insane backlash. It was all over TikTok and even spread to mainstream media with multiple news channels covering it. People were saying things like, have they never heard of the Madeleine McCann case? And so many parents have been chiming in saying that they're way too paranoid to leave their child alone like that. My biggest concern of all of this though is that they're FaceTiming their monitors with one person's phone being left in the room watching them. But FaceTimes always go wrong. If you lose connection, your phone hangs up automatically, and also your phone could just die. There's so many possibilities for error, but it just gets even weirder from here. So people quickly started reacting to this, saying that it was incredibly unsafe and irresponsible. Abby proceeded to delete all her stories, and they also deleted every negative comment that followed. 3 whole days after this all started, Matt and Abby decided to post an apology video. They essentially said that they have never, would never, and will never leave their kids alone and unsupervised.
There is information circulating about us that is completely untrue, so we just wanted to set the record straight, clear the air, because we take our role as parents extremely seriously.
People's immediate reaction was that it all just seemed a little rehearsed. The white shirts, the sitting in the bedroom, also the body language and the lack of eye contact can be quite telling. But this is where it gets crazy. In the video, they start talking about how Abby's stories were misleading and they wanted to explain what actually happened. But some things just weren't adding up.
That we were at dinner FaceTiming the baby monitors while our children were asleep in their staterooms. And that is just completely untrue, because we had someone with our children at all times on this boat, period.
I can see where my story did lead to misunderstanding, which is why I ended up deleting it.
So they say that they didn't leave their children alone, and there actually was someone in the rooms watching them at all times. But they never specify who that someone was, and also why would you not just say that in your stories? It just doesn't make sense.
Even when we would, tag team and take turns at family dinner,
Yeah.
we would turn on FaceTime so we could also have eyes on them as their parents. if we weren't the ones, attending them in that moment.
Why would they need to FaceTime the monitors if there was someone trustworthy watching the kids? Do they not trust the person watching the kids? Why do this now, especially when they've never FaceTimed the monitors before? I know they leave their kids with the grandparents quite often, so it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't trust them now. Also, the kids are in blackout tents, so the person in the room would also have to watch the monitor to see the babies. How would they do that if there was a phone in front of them blocking the monitors? Why didn't Matt or Abby just post one quick story saying that the kids weren't alone, that there was someone watching them, and this was all just a big misunderstanding? Why did they wait 3 whole days to address this? Stuff just isn't adding up. It doesn't make sense. Now, I don't know what the future looks like for them because this is not looking good, and I think the apology video has just made this 10 times worse. I just feel bad for the kids. I just don't understand the need to complain about them so often, and worst of all, complain about them on your public stories. Again, I'm not a parent, and I know that kids can be hard work, but it is your choice whether to have them or not. And now they're trying for a 3rd child. It would have been better if they just took accountability for their actions and turned this into a big learning experience. But that is all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, thank you for all the support recently on my channel. Please like and subscribe. That would make me very, very, very happy, and I will see you next week in the next video. Bye!